Like if you didn't make this family ship, it's basically a wreck. Like people wonder why their life is a certain way, but everything is like going downhill and all that. It's like because you're refusing to do the inner work. You're refusing to shift this timeline. Everything in that old timeline is crumbling right before people's eyes. It's not sustainable. It wasn't meant to sustain this long anyway. Everybody's crying about, oh, the economy, oh, this. Yeah, that is meant to happen. This stuff wasn't even sustainable to last. And people are crying about it like crumbling. And they still want that old system.
Yeah, I feel like it was too stable at
They got
first.
one nights from the system. They got too
Exactly.
used to the system being a certain way. Even though how bad it is, it's like people disregard it and they still hanging on to it. And they wonder why their life is still a certain way. It's like people really think this stuff is a game. Like that's what you're starting to like. That's what you're starting to notice now. Like how much people really thought this shit was like a game. They really thought it was just like, oh, I can still just live anyway. I can still just expect this. Like no, now people's getting hit with reality in their face. Like,
Like it was too stable at first. It was normal, and you saw that how things took a turn at the pandemic, and now it's like now they're complaining. But what if even if it wasn't like the stuff wasn't said about a government? But I believe everything happens to synchronicity. But I'm just saying if something just random just happened, these same type of people will be prepared. So it tells me that these people are not prepared. They don't have a goal. Because if you have a goal for something, you're going to prepare for the failure so you can only know to keep going. So it tells me that these people are greedy and entitled. You can't help these people because the type of mindset they have about life, they're not going to go the long haul. They just can't. Now they're all complaining. Everybody's complaining on TikTok, YouTube about this. Like, I don't want to sound messed up. Like, they're probably going to forever be poor. This is what the type of mentality they have. Like, you know, just a mindset. Like, don't want to sound cliche, but I'm not saying I'm going to become the richest person, but I feel like I have far the greater chance because the mindset that I have, like, and they don't. Like, they're not in for the long haul. They don't have like that traits to be like, oh, let me just, keep doing it. Let me just, pop each,
I don't know how long this. I don't know how long that old timeline is gonna last. Like, it's already at its last extent. People just ain't taking the hint. Like they're refusing to do the inner work. It all seems played out to them. They don't want to do that. It's looked at as corny to them. You know, I don't want to better myself. I still like, all right, continue to hang on to this timeline. Now people are living in their own misery. I'm so glad I'm just
mm,
detached from it. Like I'm hearing people talking about how dead. Like for me, I'm in a whole different timeline. I'm experiencing the most peace I ever had, but it's like I'm seeing basically the opposite side of the spectrum, which is the old timeline. You could be experiencing the most peace, but you'll see somebody experiencing hell on earth, basically, how they're explaining it. Oh, everything is so terrible. Oh, like you're really seeing multiple realities at once now. People just got too much pride and ego to get over themselves.
it's just their mindset about it. how they're going about it. Like you could be in peace, you're just chilling, you know, you're just in equanimity. They're just in misery. Like I just be going outside, you feel the misery souls. Now they just can't help it. They're just in this bottomless pit of sorrow. And they feel so sorry for themselves and they just can't wrap around it. Like, and I'm just chilling.
It's
I'm
like
not
for
saying to
me
get.
shifting into this 5D timeline, it's like I have my own bubble around me. And the bubble around me is my own reality, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's how it is nowadays. Like it can be two different realities in the same room. That's how that's how real it is out here. Like with these timeline shifts. This is why you can be around certain people that you've known your whole life, and it's like you don't even have a word to say to them. You feel disconnected from them. Like,
Yeah, we can even talk to them like recently, like, or past tense, like a year ago, whatever, like, or two. And you guys just end up falling out for whatever reason. You try to like rekindle connection, and even it could be your sibling, and it just doesn't work out. You know, then it starts to
that's,
hit you.
mm-hmm.
Even my own sibling, that's crazy, and it shows you like this is it's real.
It's like since back then everything was just so like one dimensional. Like it was all just that one timeline we were in, which was like 3D or 4D. It was either 3D or 4D that we were in, like back then. And it's like during those times, it's like it was you felt it like it was all one reality. You could turn on
Mm-hmm.
like music, like back then everything was like one dimensional, one reality. Like the music that was popping back then, everybody knew about it. Like it was all on one radio, and everybody listened to that one radio station. Everybody watched this one television station. Everything was like one dimensional, but now it's multiple realities at once. But it's like you choose whatever timeline you want to be in. Like everything is like individual now, individualistic now.
It's like a triality.
It's like a split reality.
Mm-hmm. It feels like a double slit.
Because now it's like I could be in a room with certain people, and I just don't feel like I'm in the same reality as them. Like, just the stuff they talk about, even people on social media, like the stuff they complain about, it just doesn't resonate with me. Like, yeah, I'm in the same world as you, but my reality is just different. It's to the point where if I told people how my reality was, they would look at me like I'm crazy. Like, oh, how aren't you miserable right now? How are you living like this and you're not going crazy right now? How come you're not? It's like they wouldn't even understand it. That's how different these timelines are. You got certain people losing their mind. You got certain people reaching the most peaceful state that they've ever been in. I can't imagine still living in that old timeline.
Yeah, but imagine
I
dabbling in the
shedded like
dark.
all of that stuff, like those program ways of thinking. Like I feel like a whole different person. Like, the person I was in the old timeline, like it was more fear based. It was more people pleasing, trying to appease the crowd, trying to live up to certain standards. But it's like this new timeline, this 5D timeline, is just nothing but peace, freedom. Like you're not trying to appease nobody. You don't have crowds of people around you, so you just are peaceful. The way you think about things are different. Your work ethic is different. You have more energy, clarity. Like, I can imagine still holding on to that old timeline, which most people are. So it's like you wonder why you're experiencing hell.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can't live the same way like you used to. Like I said, people really think this shit is a joke. They really thought all this inner work shit was a game. Oh, you're meditating. That's bad. Oh, you're doing this. Oh, you're not hanging out with people. You don't have friends. Why are you being away from everybody? It's like that whole time I was doing the inner work. I was looked at like I was crazy for it. Oh, why aren't you doing this? Why? People really skipped all of that. They really thought it was a game. That you could still live the same way in this new timeline. It's like that's not gonna work out. It's gonna be corrupted. This is why a lot of people are just crashing out. Like they can't even stand it.
They're trying to do what they do before and then try to bring it on to the new. Like that's gonna create a double slit. It's like they're polluting the air, like the energy around themselves. They're polluting it with the type of energy they have, the frequency. It creates a blockage. You know what I'm saying? It creates a friction, which is negative, which creates like negative energy, and they're creating that. And imagine a whole ton of people doing that. That's gonna have a certain type of energy, certain type of effect on the energy in this planet. Like I thought of 5D consciousness, and it's like it's just I can't even explain it. It just feels so just this so neutral and just so in a God state. I feel me sifting to it, but at the same time, when I go outside, I could feel like the low energy of people, like the radiation. You know, it's just two energies at the same time. It's like it's trying to rub off on the energy that I have now.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just crazy.
And so you start to become more sensitive to like that low frequency because you're so used to being in a certain like state of consciousness. You're so used to being at a high vibration, raising your consciousness to a certain level. But most people around you aren't. It's just going to impact you more. It's like having like a cup full of water and you add like some paint in it.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be overtaken by the paint, even if it's one little drop or one little speck. That's how the negative energy works, like in a slow frequency. Like you become so pure in your energy, it's like the smallest thing could just taint it. One little droplet of paint and pure water can just taint the whole cup of water. This is why it's kind of
Mm-hmm.
unbearable to like do certain things that you used to, or be around certain people that you used to. It's like because the energy, the way it is now, like and the frequency that you're on, the frequency level that you're on is just so high that it's like unbearable to even deal with certain people because it'll just corrupt everything. Like it'll corrupt all of your energy basically and just drain you.
Mm.
Most people still think it's
It's
like
not.
2011 or something or 2016. You still want to be too cool for school. You don't want to take time out. You don't want to sit with yourself and meditate. Like It's like I don't get it. People still
Mm-hmm.
holding up this demeanor to be too cool to do anything with this type of energy. Like it's not gonna work out. You're gonna start feeling, and you're starting to hear, like we mentioned before, you're gonna continue to hear these people on TikTok and YouTube complaining. Oh, I don't. Everything is so bad. Oh, I don't like doing certain things that I used to do. They'll even say stuff like that. Like I used
Oh
to go
yeah.
to clubs and now I don't. I went to the club and it's like I instantly didn't like it. The energy was bad and I had to leave. It's like they know something's different, but it's like they're still gonna run from it. They're still gonna run from the inner work. Like, it don't matter if they know that stuff is different. Like just because they notice the differences don't mean that they're doing the inner work. But these occurrences are gonna keep popping up with people. Oh, I hate working this job. Yeah, because you're not supposed to be in it, but you're not going to take the risk to leave. You're not going to want to build nothing. So it's just people know that something is up. People know that something is wrong, but they're not willing to make the sacrifice or to take the necessary steps to like change.
Mm-hmm.
So they're just going to keep running into a brick wall.
They're gonna be pessimism. So yeah, I'm sharing videos. Oh, stuff is not like it used to. Everything's so bad, and it's like okay, cool, but it's like you're just wallowing in your misery. That's all they're doing. They're just going downer and downer and downer when they do it. But they still kind of have bad habits a bit, like complaining and working the same job. They're not gonna really strip those desires away from them and do what they got to do. You know what I'm saying? All those years they've been going to the club, smoking, and all that other stuff they've been doing. Now it's like it kind of backfired. So now it's like now you want to complain, but it's not even that because it affected you so bad. It's because the earth just went through this karmic cycle because the age you are in, the age of Aquarius. So everything just came back full circle, and they ain't think anything like this was gonna happen. A crisis. It always gonna be all good where they can just live in leisure 24/7, and be entertained. But nah, but they don't want to like face it.
It's like we shifted from the age of Pisces to the age of Aquarius.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, it's basically like a magnet. You know how like when two magnets are put together, they can either attract, or if you put them on the opposite side, they can like detract.
Mm-hmm.
That's what these people basically are doing. They're bringing that old energy from like the age of Pisces, like the old timeline, into the like age of Aquarius, and it's like the polar opposite basically. So
Mm-hmm.
this is gonna have like it's gonna have more of an effect because you're bringing two opposite frequencies together. It's like they're still bringing that heavy, dense energy into this timeline of like all this stress, worry, fear. Like you're supposed to be light. You're supposed to be. This is why they say enlightened. Like you're supposed to be light. And you see the time speeding up so fast. Like it's a whole different energy. It's a whole different energy that we're in. It's like most people don't want to acclimate to this new energy.
Mm-hmm. That you said how when you put something in clean water, it don't matter what it is, that water is totally affected. The reason why if I say you put paint or any type of molecule in water is dirty is because when when you have water, right, it has to go through a
Mm-hmm.
filtration process where it has to be clean because certain chemicals. have molecules inside of them. What molecules do is they grow and they become bigger, and molecules are very, very tiny. So they grow inside of it. You know what I'm saying? So it kind of creates like a carcinogen in the water basically. So it has to be cleaned. It can't be drained. That's the same thing with people. Their energies become toxic. And now when you get a taste of it, and now it's affecting you, you start to feel weird or whatever. You get like a that's why they call it a bad taste in your mouth when you're around them. And when you like be around it for too long, you start to feel drained.
It's like people really thought the same stuff was going to continue to fly for like all of these years, and they wonder why stuff ain't the same or like why stuff ain't hitting the same. It's like they're still trying to do the same exact thing, and you thought that that was just going to be good enough. Like I said, these people really thought they didn't have to do inner work or like they didn't have to make any changes. They thought, oh, I could just still be the same exact way. I don't gotta evolve. I don't gotta do nothing. Like, all right, and you're gonna wonder why like you're running into a brick wall. Wonder why everything is off now. Like, yeah, that probably could that same stuff you're doing could have fly. It could fly like back then, but not now. And they got too much ego to even think to themselves like maybe I gotta make an adjustment. I gotta do things differently. No, they're gonna override that and they're just gonna basically make an excuse and just blame the world for being how it is. Oh, nothing's working out. Oh, this and that. They're never gonna take time to self-reflect and think to themselves like maybe I need to shift. Maybe I need to change. Maybe I need to do this differently. And you can feel it around you. Like nothing is the same. Like the energy's different. And people actually think they're going to get away with doing the same exact stuff, being the same exact way that they've always been. They don't want to evolve. And the saying is like, whatever doesn't evolve does. If you don't evolve, it's like, and that's how people are. Like, they don't want to evolve. And that's what this world is basically showing you. Like I said, everything is crashing, everything is bad from that old timeline. It's showing you like, this stuff is not sustainable. It's not sustainable and something has to change.